Shalom Yerushalayim Zeu Shari Rashechem.
Shalom, everyone, and nearly Shabbat Shalom. Today is Friday. Today is the 29th day of the Hebrew month of Sivan. That means that tomorrow and the next day we're going to be celebrating the new moon. That'll be the month of Tammuz, and today is also July the 5th. And we are about to read the fifth portion in the book of Numbers, which tells the story about Korah. The portion begins on chapter 16, and it begins with the whole story about Korah and his congregation. Korah was a leader. We can see his bloodline. It says Korah, the son of Kehat, the son of Yitzhar, the son of Kehat, the son of Levi. That's right in the first verse of chapter 16. Korah was not a simple man. Korah was part of the tribe of Levi. He was part of the group he was part of the family that had the priesthood. We know that there are psalms talking about to the chief musician, to the sons of Korah. Korah had a very serious bloodline. He wasn't a regular man. And this thing is actually something that repeats itself. We also saw in last week's portion, when we read about the sin of the spies, we read about Moses sending men of renown. They were all leaders of the tribes, and they were all sent to the land of Canaan, and they chose to spy the land. They became the spies. But we see again that there is something about leadership that also unfolds the risk of falling into temptation and falling into sin. Korach's problem, according to how he describes it, is hierarchy. And he's basically saying to Moses and Aaron, he says, you've taken too much for yourself. Now you want the priesthood as well. You are leaders. You're at the top of the pyramid. I mean, how much more do you want for yourself? And he's explaining his argument by saying the entire congregation is holy. Why would you exalt yourselves over the congregation of the Lord? Now, allegedly, when we read it from the outside, he has a point. The entire people is holy. The entire congregation is meant and chosen to serve the Lord. Why do you exalt yourself? Why do we need someone to be there at the top of the pyramid? Why isn't it just all of us together, equal? Because all of us, we're all equal in the eyes of the Lord. Let's extend the question. Let's say, why do we need a chosen people? Why not all humanity? All humanity, all equal in the eyes of the Lord, all humanity serving the Lord equally. But we see that that's not the case all throughout Torah. Because Torah, that's our opportunity to get to know to our Father in heaven. And we see that right from the start, a choice and creating a form of a pyramid, some kind of hierarchy is required. Not in order to say that one is above the other in terms of him being wanted in the eyes of the Lord. It's not about that at all. It's not about God's love. It's not about God's will to have one standing before him. All of us were created in his image. We are all wanted and loved in the same way, but we are not the same. We're not unified. And we see that leadership is required. Always, when there is no leadership, there is chaos. When there isn't a chosen leader that gives a clear voice and giving us the path, we see people going in many different directions, and the retribution is coming very soon after. We see it in Genesis 11 when God saw the wickedness of mankind. For 2,000 years, there hasn't been a chosen people, no chosen anybody. And in chapter 11, after 2,000 years, the heart of the Lord became full of sadness, and he relented for creating mankind. This is after the flood. And then the choice of Abraham was made. God made a choice of Abraham because there was no one else to be called up. And Abraham's descendants, they were chosen to serve entire humanity as the representatives of the Lord in this world, and also the representatives of humanity in the eyes of the Lord, to be the bridge. That's by just by plain reading. There is no other way to explain it. It doesn't mean that the Lord loves his people more than he loves others. It doesn't mean that the people of the Lord will be saved, in time of salvation more than others. No, salvation is for the entire world. This picture about this question about who God loves more is unnecessary. It's irrelevant. It's misplaced. There is no room for this kind of observation. There is enough God for everyone. And Korah didn't understand that. Korah said the entire congregation is holy. Why would you exalt yourself over the Lord? But in actual fact, he was talking about himself, because he had the potential to become a leader, a greater leader than he already was. He had the potential of becoming a priest. He was from the family. He was from the tribe of Levi. It wasn't about the entire congregation. It was about himself. He wanted to be promoted, and he only presented it as if he was speaking on behalf of the entire nation, and he dragged along a lot of people with him. There's another little question about Korach's bloodline. You see, Korach, chapter 16 opens with Korach was the son of Yitzhar, the son of Kehat, the son of Levi. We get 3 generations before. But if we got all the way up to the son, like he was the son of Levi, he was the great-grandson of Levi, the original Levi, who was born to Jacob. Why don't we get to the next bit and say that he was the son of Jacob? Why not the son of Yitzhar, the son of Kehat, the son of Levi, the son of Jacob? Why stop with Levi? And this has an interesting observation, which is connected to Genesis 49. In Genesis 49, in our version of Torah, in verse 6, we see Jacob in that chapter beginning to give blessings, or maybe predictions, or prophecies about the various tribes. These weren't quite blessings in some occasions, but we see that when Jacob is speaking about Simeon and Levi, God is saying, "Let my soul never come in their counsel." Okay, in the Hebrew it says, "Let my soul never come in their secret." I don't want to be part of their secrets. When these two conspire, when they have a secret, the end result is not such a positive one, and I don't want my soul to be included. Korach is the son of Levi, and he is plotting against, he's conspiring against the two very obvious leaders of the Lord. Jacob's words, "Let my soul never come in their counsel," these words are echoing all the way to our chapter when God is giving us the bloodline of Jacob, of Korach, and he is not including Jacob in that because of what Jacob had asked. We see that when a righteous person asks something of the Lord, it is serious, and the Lord takes it very seriously, and he remembers it even in times like this, after so many years, because God is not restricted to time. He's infinite, and this is what infinite is all about. Time is not any kind of restriction in his being. So we have a lot to learn about self-esteem, about self-esteem that becomes ego at a certain point, about arguing something, and making an argument which doesn't come from the very right place in our hearts. There is a lot to learn from this text. This text that begins in chapter 16 of the book of Numbers. I extend this invitation to all of you to read it this Shabbat, to think about leadership, to think about personal behavior in terms of how we present things to our environment, to think about sincerity, to think about the Lord's will and how much are we humble to accept it in terms of his choices. Shabbat Shalom.